Faust. In the previous chapter, Faust met Mephisto. He offered him a deal. He would sacrifice his soul to the devil in return for eternal service if Faust, if Mephisto were to grant him an extended period of servitude. And the agreement was that when Faust slows down, when he is content with his life, then at that time Mephisto can take his soul. They have not yet signed the blood contract. Mephisto bid Faust get ready to go to get dressed. And when doing so, a student knocked at the study's door. Mephisto greeted the student, dressed as Faust, and gave him a sardonical lesson concerning what he should pursue in university. The student has just exited, and we begin this chapter with Faust entering the room. Faust, where are we headed now? Mephisto, wherever you may please. We'll see the small world, then the larger one. You will reap profit and have fun as you sweep through this course with ease. Faust, with my long beard I hardly may live in this free and easy way. The whole endeavor seems so futile. I always felt the world was strange and brutal. With others I feel small and harassed, and I shall always be embarrassed. Mephisto, good friend, you will become less sensitive. Self-confidence will teach you how to live. Faust, how shall we get away from here? Where are your carriage, groom, and steed? Mephisto, I rather travel through the air. We spread this cloak, that's all we need. But on this somewhat daring flight, be sure to keep your luggage tight. A little fiery air, which I plan to prepare, will raise us swiftly off the earth. Without ballast, we'll go up fast. Congratulations, friend, on your rebirth. In the next scene, we're traveled to Auerbach's Keller in Leipzig. There are many men drinking and having fun. Frosch, will no one drink and no one laugh? I teach you not to look so wry. Today you look like sodden chaff and usually blaze to the sky. Brander, it's all your fault. You make me sick. No joke and not a single dirty trick. Frosch, as he's pouring a glass of wine over Brander's head. There you have both. Brander, you filthy pig. Frosch, you said I shouldn't be a prig. Siebold, let those who fight stop or get out. With all your lungs, see chorus, swell, and shout. Come, holla-hoo. Altmaier, now this is where I quit. Give me some cotton, or my ears will split. Seibel, when the vault echoes and enjoy the place, is quaking and you can enjoy a bass. Frosch, quite right. Throw out the fusses because he is lampooned. Altera lera da. Altmaier, altera lera da. Frosch, the throat seems to be tuned. Dear Holy Roman Empire, what holds you still together? Brander, a nasty song. It reeks of politics, a wretched song. Thank God in daily prayer that the old empire isn't your affair. At least I think it is too much to be grateful for that I'm not emperor nor chancellor. And yet we too need someone to respect. I say a pope, let us elect. You know the part that elevates and thereby proves the man who rates. Frosch. Oh, Dame Nightingale, arise. Bring my sweet love 10,000 sighs. Siebold. No sighs for your sweet love. I will not have such mush. Frosch. A sigh and kiss for her. You cannot make me blush. Ope the latch in silent night. Ope the latch your love invites. Shut the latch, there is the dawn. Siebel. Go, sing and sing and sing. Pay compliments and fawn. The time will come when I shall laugh. She'll lead me by the nose, and you are the next calf. Her lover should be some mischievous gnome. He'd meet her at a crossroads and make light, and an old billy goat that's racing home. From Blocksburg could still bleat to her good night. A decent lad of real flesh and blood is far too good to be her stud. I'll stand no size, you silly ass, but throw rocks through her window glass. Brander. Look here, listen to me. My friends confess I know what's right. There are lovers here, and you'll agree that it's only civility that I should try to honor them tonight. Watch out, this song's the latest fashion, and join in the refrain from passion. A cellar once contained a rat that couldn't have been uncouth, lived on grease and butter and grew fat, just like old Dr. Luther. The cook put poison in his food, then he felt cramped and just as stewed, as if love gnawed his veins. Then a chorus. As if love not his vitals. Brander. He dashed around, he dashed outdoors, sought puddles and swilled rain. He swilled and scratched up walls and floors, but his frenzy was in vain. He jumped up in a rightful huff, but soon the poor beast had enough, as if love not his vitals, as if love not his vitals. Brander. At last he rushed in open day into the kitchen, crazed with fear, dropped near the stove and writhed and lay and puffed out his career. The poisoner only laughed. I hope he's at the end of his rope, as if love not his vitals. Chorus, as if love not his vitals. Siebel. How pleased these stupid chaps are. That's, I think, indeed a proper art, to put out poison for poor rats. Brander. I see you do not like their part. Altmaier. Pot-belly with his shiny top. His ill luck made him mild and tame. He sees the bloated rat go flop, and sees himself, they look the same. Now Faust and Mephistopheles enter the tavern. Mephisto. Above all else, it seems to me, you need some jolly company. To see life can be fun, to say the least. The people here make every day a feast. With little wit and boisterous noise, they dance and circle in their narrow trails, like kittens playing with their tails. When hangovers don't vex these boys, and while their credit's holding out, they have no cares and drink and shout. Brander. These two are travelers, I swear. I tell it right off by the way they stare. They have been here at most an hour. Frosch. No doubt about it. Leipzig is a flower. It is a little Paris, and it educates its people. Siebel. Who may they be? Who knows the truth? Frosch. Leave it to me. A drink that interposes, and I'll pull like a baby tooth the worms they hide out of their fellow noses. They seem to be of noble ancestry, for they look proud and act disdainfully. Brander. They are mere quacks and born in squalor. Altmaier. Maybe. Frosch. Watch out, we shall commence. Then Mephisto says to Faust, the devil people never sense, though he may hold them by the collar. Faust. Good evening, gentlemen. Siebel. Thank you. To you the same. Softly looking at Mephistopheles from the side. Look at his foot. Why is it lame? Mephisto. We will join you if you grant the liberty. The drinks they have are poor, their wine not very mellow, so we'll enjoy your company. Altmaier. You seem a most facetious fellow. Frosch. Did you leave Repak rather late than walk? And did you have your first dinner with Master Jackass there? Mephisto. Tonight we had no time to spare. Last time, however, we had quite a talk. He had a lot to say of his relations, and asked us to send each his warmest salutations. He then bows to Frosch. Altmaier, softly. You got it right. He's all right. Sibyl. A pretty repartee. Frosch. I'll get him yet. Just wait and see. Mephisto. Just now we've heard, if I'm not wrong, some voices singing without fault. Indeed, this seems a place for song. No doubt it echoes from a vault. Frosch. Are you perchance a virtuoso? Mephisto. Oh no, the will is great, the power only so-so. Altmaier. Give us a song. Mephisto. As many as you please. Siebel. But let us have a brand new strain. Mephisto. We have just returned from Spain, the beauteous land of wine and melodies. A king lived long ago who had a giant flea. Frosch. Hear, hear. A flea. That's what I call a jest. A flea's a mighty pretty guest. Mephisto. A king lived long ago who had a giant flea. He loved him just as though he were his son and heir. He sent his tailor a note and offered the tailor riches if he would measure a coat and also take measure for breeches. Brander. Be sure to tell the tailor, if he twinkles, that he must take fastidious measure. He'll lose his head, not just the treasure, if in the breeches there are wrinkles. Mephisto. He was in silk arrayed, in velvet he was dressed, had ribbons and brocade, a cross upon his chest, a fancy star of great fame, a minister in short, and all his kin became lords at the royal court. The other lords grew lean, and suffered with their wives. The royal maid and the queen were all but eaten alive, but weren't allowed to swat them, and could not even scratch, while we can swat and blot them, and kill the ones that catch. Then the chorus. Well, we can swat and blot them and kill the ones that catch. Frosch. Bravo, bravo, that was a treat. Siebel. That is the end all fleas should meet. Brander. Point your fingers and catch them fine. Altmaier. Long live our freedom and long live wine. Mephisto. When freedom is the toast, my own vice, I should add. Or your forsaken wines, only not quite so bad. Siebel. You better mind your language, lad. Mephisto. I only fear the landlord might protest, else I should give each honored guest from our cellar a good glass. Siebel. Let's go. The landlord is an ass. Frosch. If you provide good drinks, you shall be eulogized, but let your samples be good sized. When I'm the judge, I'm telling him I want my snout full to the brim. Altmaier. They're from the Line Rand, I promise. Mephisto. Bring me a gimlet. Brander. What could that be for? You couldn't have the cask in the next room? Altmaier. The landlord keeps his tools right there, behind the door. Mephisto, taking the gimlet, says to Frosch, what would you like? Something that's cool? Frosch, what do you mean? You got a lot of booze? Mephisto, I let each have what he may choose. Altmaier to Frosch, ho, you lick your chops and start to drool. Frosch, if it is up to me, I'll have a Rhenish brand. There's nothing that compares with our fatherland. Mephisto, boring a hole near the edge of the table where Frosch sits. Now let us have some wax to make a court that sticks. Altmaier. Oh, is it merely parlor tricks? Mephisto, to Brander. And you? Brander, I want a good champagne. Heady, I do not like it plain. Mephisto, he's boring out a hole. Meanwhile, someone else has made the wax stoppers and plugged the holes that he was boring. Brander, not all that's foreign can be banned. For what is far is often fine. A Frenchman is a thing no German man can stand, and yet we like to drink their wine. Siebel, as Mephistopheles approaches his place. I must confess, I think the dry tastes bad. The sweet alone is exquisite. Mephisto. Oh, Tokay will flow for you, my lad. Altmaier. I think you might as well admit, good gentlemen, that these are simple jests. Mephisto. Tut tut. With such distinguished guests, that would be quite a lot to dare. So don't be modest and declare what kind of wine you would prefer. Altmaier. I like them all, so I don't care. Now after all the holes have been bored and plugged. Mephisto, while making strange gestures into the air. The grape that vine adorns, the billy goat sports horns, the wine is juicy, vines are wood, the wooden table gives wine as good. Profound insight, now you perceive, a miracle, only believe. Now pull the stoppers and have fun. Now everyone's together. They pull out the stoppers and the wine each asked for flows into their glass. A glorious one, well, for everyone. Mephisto, be very careful lest it overrun. Everybody drinks, and they all sing, we feel gigantically well, just like 500 sows. Mephisto, look here how well men are when they are free. Faust, I should like to get out of here. Mephisto, first watch how their bestiality will in full splendor soon appear. Siebel, drinking carelessly, he spills his wine on the floor where it quickly turns into a flame. Help! Fire! Help! Hell blue event! Mephisto, while conjuring the flame. Be quiet, friendly elements. For this time, it was only a drop of purgatory. Siebel, you'll pay for it, and you can save your story. What do you think we are, my friend? Frosch, don't you dare do that a second time, you hear? Altmaier, just leave him in silence. This is what I say, gents. Siebel, you have the brazen impudence to do your hocus pocus here? And Mephisto, be still, old barrel. Siebel, broomstick you. Will you insult us? Mind your prose. Brander, just wait and see. There will be blows. Altmaier, pulling a stopper from the table, and the fire leaps at him. I burn! I burn! Siebel, it's magic, as I said. He's an outlaw. Strike him dead! They draw their knives, and they advance on Mephistopheles. Mephisto, with solemn gestures, still making strange motions with his hands in the air. False images prepare. Mirages in the air. Be here and there. The men stand amazed and stare at each other. Altmaier, where am I? What a gorgeous land. Frosch, and vineyards, am I mad? Siebel, and grapes, right by my hand. Brander, see in the leaves that purple shape? I never saw that big a grape. He grabs Siebel's nose, and they all do it to each other and raise their knives. Mephisto, you can hear his voice above them. Fall from their eyes, illusions band. Remember how the devil joked. He then disappears with Faust, and the revelers separate. Siebel, what's that? Altmaier, huh? Frosch, your nose I stroked? Brander, and yours is in my hand. Altmaier, the shock is more than I can bear. I think I'll faint. Get me a chair. Frosch, what was all this? Who understands? Siebel, where is the scoundrel? I'm so sore. If only I could get my hands. Altmaier, I saw him whiz right through the cellar door, riding a flying barrel. Zounds! The fright weighs on me like 1,000 pounds. Then he turns to the table. Do you suppose the wine still flows? Siebel, that was a fraud. You're asinine. Frosch, I surely thought I drank wine. Brander, but what about the grapes, I say? Altmaier, who's there? Who says there are no miracles today? And this will conclude this reading. We'll pick this back up here in the very near future.